On the hill overlooking Hollow's End stood the old church, its crumbling steeple clawing at the sky like a skeletal finger. Behind it stretched the ancient graveyard, its headstones crooked and worn, names long faded by wind and rain. No one buried their dead there anymore, not since the disappearances started. Not since the whispers began. They said the ground was hungry. That something twisted lived beneath the earth, beneath the roots of the gnarled oaks that stood sentinel among the graves. Something that writhed and squirmed, shifting under the soil like a nest of maggots. The villagers spoke of the Burrowers, creatures that moved beneath the graves, their twisted forms tunneling through dirt and stone. They were said to be neither living nor dead, creatures of rot and shadow, with bodies long and thin, their bones bending in ways no humans should. Their faces were hollow, sunken pits where eyes once were, their mouths stretched wide with too many teeth, jagged and yellowed. They came at night, slipping out from under the headstones, crawling on elongated limbs that cracked and popped as they moved. They dragged themselves across the graveyard, their fingers long and sharp, scratching at the earth, feeling for the freshly dead. For they were the devourers of souls, drawn to the warmth of recent death, to the lingering echo of life that still clung to the newly buried. The old church had been abandoned for years, its windows shattered, its doors hanging crooked on rusted hinges. But on cold, silent nights, a faint light was said to flicker from within, a sickly green glow that spilled through the cracks, painting the headstones with shadows that danced and writhed like the creatures beneath. It was said that the gravedigger had once made a pact with the Burrowers. A hunched old man with hollow eyes and a crooked spine, he was the last caretaker of the church, the last to bury the dead in that cursed soil. They said he had fed the creatures, offering them the newly deceased in exchange for their secrets, for forbidden knowledge whispered from beneath the dirt. But greed had been his downfall. He began digging up the graves himself, breaking coffins apart, dragging the bodies to the creatures below. He became their servant, their herald, until the night they grew hungry for more. They found him at dawn, his body stretched and broken, half buried beneath the oldest oak, his face frozen in terror, his eyes hollow pits, his mouth stretched wide in a soundless scream. They say his spirit still lingers, wandering the graveyard at night, warning the living to stay away, to keep out of the earth's reach. But even his restless ghost could not stop the Burrowers. They still move beneath the graves, still hunger for the dead. Sometimes, on the darkest nights, the earth seems to shift and breathe, the headstones leaning as if pulled from below. And if you stand very still, just at the edge of the churchyard, you can hear it, the faint scratching, the whisper of bone against stone, the hollow, echoing laughter that rises from beneath the dirt. A reminder that not all graves are at rest, and some creatures were never meant to see the light of day.